I've been wanting to do a big Lord of the Rings building project for a while now, and so today we're going to be doing just that, along with diving deep into some Middle-earth lore and discussing the future of the Lego Lord of the Rings theme. And very quickly, if you want to win a free copy of this Dragon Mountain Lego set, I'll be announcing the winner next week. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to the channel and comment down on this video. So in the last building series, I built medieval dragon armies based around House of the Dragon, but today we're going to be building medieval horse warriors, and specifically the riders of Rohan, from the upcoming War of the Rohirrim movie. And before we get to building the main characters like Helm Hammerhand, we first need to dive into the lore. The story itself will follow King Helm, who takes the name Hammerhand after killing a rival chieftain named Freyke. Freyke and his son Wulf have been plotting to take the throne from King Helm, and they plan to do this by marrying Wulf to Helm's daughter Hera. But when Freyke is killed, Wulf takes up this mission and attacks Rohan along with his Dunlending warriors. So to start off, let's build King Helm Hammerhand. Helm has a very interesting history because he is the final king of the first line of Rohan, the line of the House of Eorl. And any hardcore Tolkien fans will know that Eorl is the Rohirrim king who first makes a pact with Gondor and their 12th ruling steward Sirion. This pact is what thousands of years later leads to the lighting of the beacons in Return of the King. So far, we've seen Helm Hammerhand wearing dark green robes with red and gold detailing and a red cloak. He also has his long flowing white beard, and so this mixture of purist Lord of the Rings parts worked really nicely, and I added some custom Rohan soldier arms and legs to get the gold and silver detailing. The Lego minifigure for King Theoden is one of the best ever made, and so I wanted to capture some of those kingly details. I've also given him a shield and a sword in case any Dunlendings decide to attack early. The sword almost matches the ones we see used by Rohan soldiers. It's not quite Theoden's sword, but it does the trick. Next up, we have Hera. Now, Hera is not actually named in Tolkien's writing. She is Helm's daughter, and some fans feel like it's a bad decision to focus so much on this red-haired girl boss character. But frankly, I have no issue with this. It's not only historically accurate to Anglo-Saxon and Norse mythology, which was Tolkien's chief source of inspiration, but is also seemingly well executed in the trailer. So no, this is not going to be a Galadriel in Rings of Power situation, and it also builds off the legacy of Éowyn, a strong, beloved female character who is inspired by shield maidens like Lagertha and Gunhild in Viking mythology. So for her Lego version, I used this custom torso from my Alicent Hightower minifigure, and then added this female face print and red hairpiece from the 2013 Lego Castle Lion Princess minifigure. One thing I couldn't do was capture the crowns that we see on Helm and Hera, but I think this does a really great job of capturing her character anyway. The next minifigure is Frealaf Hildesson. We have not seen much of his character in the trailers yet, but we know he has a lot of parallels to Éomer's character in the original movies. He is Helm Hammerhand's nephew, and also the future king of Rohan, and just from this image, we can see he is a tough and strong character. So I've chosen a custom Rohan captain torso in brown and gold, and then added in white arms to capture some of the cream robes we can see. The face and hair aren't quite accurate, but they come pretty close. I might change the face print so there is a less stubble and a more grim facial expression, because unfortunately the reverse print would make him Frealaf Thor's son, and those electric eyes really throw things off a little bit. So very quickly, this is your last chance to win 2 new Lego sets with the Dungeons & Dragons Red Dragon's Tail and the medieval town square, and that's thanks to today's sponsor, The Brick News, who runs monthly Lego giveaways for giant sets. All the details are up on the screen, and you can enter for yourself down at the links in the description. Now, before we make Wulf and some Dunlending warriors, we have a Wildcard character. It's likely another member of the royal family, and has a bit more of a softer Faramir look than Frealaf, but we don't know exactly who it is yet. He has these dark blue and red robes, which were really difficult to capture. I really wanted to make a Lady Éowyn minifigure because this movie will be narrated by Miranda Otto, who is the actress who originally played Lady Éowyn. Now, I've made this one, and apart from the hairpiece, which I do have a big shortage of blonde parts in, I think it does a great job of capturing Éowyn in her battle armor. If you switch to the helmet, you can't even tell about the hairpiece, but if you want to see a perfect version, then check out the Lord of the Bricks custom Éowyn over on his Instagram. And of course, to go along with King Helm and his family, we have a couple of custom Rohan soldier variants, including an archer, a heavily armored swordsmen, and 2 riders of Rohan with spears. So with our heroes built, it's time to make the villains of our story next, with Wulf and Freyka. First up, we have Freyka, who is a very interesting character because he is a descendant of King Freywine, one of Helm's liege lords, but he also has a lot of Dunlending blood, which is very unusual for one of the Rohirrim. But to make him, I've used some Uruk-hai and Berserker parts, a forked dwarven beard, and also some custom cloth capes. The real villain will be his son Wulf, and I've based my version off this image where we see him wearing a crown. This is probably my favourite of the minifigures I designed. I used some parts from the female barbarian in the recent CMF series, and also some more Uruk-hai parts. The headpiece is actually from a King Thorin minifigure, which is a little bit too detailed, but looks so good I just had to include it. And we also have this cool shot of Hera and Wulf riding against each other on horseback in the trailers, so I had to capture that. Now, to go along with Freyka and Wulf, I was running low on minifigure parts at this point, but we have one custom Dunlending soldier. I wanted a more messy hairpiece like we see in the original Dunlendings, but the printing does a nice job of capturing their wild, savage ways. And in case you didn't know this, there is actually a Japanese version of the trailer which reveals a bunch more footage and includes Saruman the White. So of course, we have Christopher Lee's Saruman from the Tower of Orthanc set, and what makes this exciting is that at this point, we don't really know what Saruman is going to be doing. In his story, he's not yet fully corrupted by the ring, and so he could be appearing as either a friend or a foe to the Rohirrim. Before we get into the latest LEGO Lord of the Rings leaks and some possible future sets, the only thing left to do is to put Helm Hammerhand in the castle that is named after him, which is of course Helm's Deep. I haven't got the full set fully built right now, but he does have the throne room and chamber for his family, so we can capture the image that we first saw as concept art for War of the Rohirrim. And I was really proud of how these minifigures turned out. Let's hope the movie turns out to be as faithful to Tolkien's writing. Another thing that has me pretty excited is the mythical beasts we see throughout the trailer, from the new Watcher in the Water style creature to the return of the Mumakil. And speaking of the Watcher in the Water, my Mines of Moria and Doors of Durin diorama is very nearly finished, and I'll be sharing the instructions in September. Now, I have a full video breaking down the future of the LEGO Lord of the Rings theme, what sets we can expect to see, and whether the theme is going to continue at all. But with so much hype around this new movie, the trailer has almost 20 million views now. I mentioned it briefly in that video, but if this movie delivers on the promises it's made, I think it's very likely we could see a couple of LEGO sets celebrating this new adventure into Middle-earth. And even if we don't, we can expect more icon sets like Hobbiton or Minas Tirith, and potentially even some more brickheads too. But as soon as I do hear any new Lord of the Rings leaks or news, I will update you guys. And even though the War of the Rohirrim is not releasing until December, I am excited for a new story that is rooted in Tolkien, and I really hope you all enjoyed this video and me nerding out with Middle-earth lore and LEGO. But anyways, let me know what you think of these minifigures and the new movie down in those comments, and I'll see you guys on the next video.